Well, it's certainly no secret that the beauty of Moab's landscape is a big part of what draws off-road vehicles of every flavor, size, and shape to enjoy this magnificent backcountry. Unfortunately, it's not coming without a cost, and that cost is the destruction of trails and backcountry habitat. The destruction we've been seeing lately is really more than the desert can absorb. But there's things we can do about it. It's up to each and every one of us to do our part to keep these trails as pristine as we can so they can be enjoyed for many, many years to come. Use the tools that are available to you. Study up before you visit the backcountry. Know where you're going and make sure you're not getting in over your head. Make sure yourself and the vehicle are up for the task at hand. When you come to the backcountry here in Moab, there's a handful of things we can certainly do to try to minimize our impact on the backcountry. One of the things is study the tread lightly principles. Those are very simple. You can find those online. As you drive down the trails, you'll look to the right, you look to the left, you see these little islands of vegetation. This is where all the backcountry animals live. This is their home. The deserts of southeast Utah are very fragile. We have something here called cryptobiotic soil. It basically glues the desert in place, and a single tire track will destroy it. When we're driving on slick rock, it's an amazing adventure. There's traction like no other. However, there's things out there, we call them potholes. Now the potholes are a habitat, whether they have water in them or they're completely dry. There's a wide variety of life. There's 3 types of shrimp. There's tadpoles, there's daphne. There's amazing aquatic life that happens within these pools. When the rain comes, they hatch out. So, wet or dry, we really want to avoid these potholes. It's part of the vital ecosystem that is the desert. It's up to us to educate ourselves before we come to the area, learn the lay of the land, learn the rules, the regulations, the do's, the don'ts before you come out. Do your homework. And part of that homework is learning where your vehicle belongs. But know where you're heading and know that the trail that you're doing is appropriate for your vehicle. One of the best resources to help you stay on designated routes is to use BLM georeferenced maps available from resources such as Gaia, Avenza, or Onyx, which are all free apps on the internet. A huge problem that continues to happen is the progressive widening of all of the trails. The trails have gone from a sweet little twin track in the middle of a pristine wilderness to superhighways. Unfortunately, you'll see in the backcountry so many fences that have gone up, and they're going up in an effort to herd people to keep them on the trail. If we want to see less fences, we need to do our part to stay in the heart of the trail. When you see mud on the trail, a lot of people, I don't want to get my vehicle all muddy, so they're going to drive around that mud. That's not what we want to do. We want to drive through the mud, but we want to do it slowly. So when you see that water, drive through it, but drive through it slowly and carefully. So many people have said to me that back where they come from, so many of the trails back home have been closed. Yet they'll take their same driving habits and then bring them here to the Moab area, and our trails are just as subject to being closed. So it's up to each and every one of us to minimize our impacts on the backcountry to help keep our trails open. Trail etiquette, it's an important part about traveling in the backcountry. If you come across another vehicle on the trail, the first response is certainly not just to bolt off into the bushes off the side of the trail. Find a place that's appropriate to pass them. Whether you have to back up or keep a good eye looking forward to find that spot before you need it, that's our job. There's nothing worse than to be out in the desert on a beautiful summer day to see the white flowers in bloom, but realize they're not white flowers, and most likely that's toilet paper. We need to bring a Ziploc bag or a wag bag and pack all that stuff out. Our bacteria levels in the soils here are next to none, so things don't decompose like they do in the forest or in any other environment. The desert environment, things take decades to decompose. If you bring it into the backcountry, please bring it out. The town of Moab has a population of just a little over 5,000 people. That's the people that live, work, and breathe here every day. We have tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of visitors that come each year to spend a few days. When you're driving through the town of Moab with your off-road vehicles, with the UTVs, it's important to keep the sound down, especially on the early mornings or late afternoons. People are trying to relax at home and those sounds travel. So minimize your travel through residential areas or trailer vehicles to the trailhead if that's an option. Respect. It goes a long way. There's the respect for Mother Nature, there's respect for the trails, there's respect for this magnificent beauty that we call Moab. There's also respect for the other users, mountain bikers, equestrians, hikers, all of the day use people that are here. Respect for each other, respect for them on the trail, and respect for the people of the community of Moab. So here are the 5 takeaways. Prepare for a safe, successful outing, stay precisely on the trail, use courtesy when passing, pack it in, pack it out. Minimize sound, especially in residential areas. But make sure when you're here, do the right thing. Educate yourself before you get here. What you bring to the trail, make sure you pack out of the trail. Everybody you encounter, treat them with kindness, dignity, and respect.